Look at this. I mean, it just looks like lush and like kind of like a little paradise. So what's wrong with this spot? I mean, it's super close to the creek. You know, the spot I was just looking at, it's about a 1.5-minute walk. Right here, it's like 30 seconds. But you're right on the main road, so then you get a little bit more dust. So I kind of like to be off of the road. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Those are my thoughts. We can still get to the creek really easily. I keep hearing stuff. Okay, yeah, now it's getting hot. It is getting hot. But the sun is basically straight up. So we only have about probably 4.5 hours till the sun's gone. And once the sun's gone, I mean, it's cold. It's like very cold. It's pretty peaceful right here. It's pretty peaceful. I was looking forward to staying at an RV park, but then I was just thinking, like, it's cooler here. Like I was saying, all the benefits of this specific spot. And if it doesn't work out, I can turn around, and the RV park's only like 18 miles from here. But I realized at the RV park, most likely I'm gonna have to detach the truck anyway, which is kind of annoying. You know, it just takes a little extra time. And I'm tired just from driving all day. I did more driving than I was planning. And if I stay at a place like this, as long as I find a nice level area, a lot of times I won't have to detach and I can get the trailer very level. And then that is easier for me, you know, setting up camp. And then in the morning, the exodus out of here is like super quick because we're all hooked up. It's so cool. That's where we live. I put the dogs in the trailer, and yeah, they were wet. It felt good to pick up Dodger and be like, oh, he's all wet. His belly was just soaked, and their feet are covered in sand, which is a pain in the butt in the trailer. But when you have dogs, you just deal with it. Like, that's just the way it is. It's literally just the way it is. So you clean up. I should probably talk about cleaning at some point. As a nomad, I'm not the best at it. One thing that helped is I did get a vacuum recently. And, you know, it works okay. It's a pretty cheap one. So I'll have to use that vacuum to vacuum up the sand. It's hard picking spots too because, man, the spot you pick, I mean, it really ends up dictating what your stay is like. I mean, the choices you make when you pick the site, they can make it miserable or easy. They can make it super exciting, maybe really cool, maybe hot. Maybe you'll get like a lot of shade. Maybe there'll be animals coming through. Maybe there'll be a bunch of campers coming through because it's like, oh, you picked their favorite spot and you didn't know until you set up your camp there. But this spot, it just looks kind of too perfect to pass up. And the creek is just right down there. And you see how it's set back off the road at least a little bit. So any dust or like noise will be minimal. And you won't be as paranoid, like every time you hear a car pull up, like, oh, are they pulling up into my camp? Like, that happens to me a lot. If you park next to the road, you'll hear people coming by and you're always checking to see like, oh, are they coming into my camp? So I decided to park here in the easiest way possible which is just straight through. And then to get out, I just go right out the little pathway right here. So now it's just a matter of leveling the trailer, getting it set up in the perfect spot, and then putting out the awning, because I figured that's going to keep the sun off of the side of the trailer. This is how I level the trailer. I have a couple spots where I like to put this little level, and it's level this way. Then I bring it over here to the kitchen counter. That doesn't look level, but sometimes if you just move the, there you go, see? There, see, it's level over here. And then you check your front and back level. So you're going front and back this way. It's perfect. I can even check this table, but you know, the table is kind of wobbly on its own, but it's not a bad indicator. So we're good. And somehow I did that basically from inside the truck. I can just kind of see the trailer through the mirrors, you know, behind me, and I can kind of see it going womp 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 as I'm hitting the little bumps, you know, just going real slow, but you can kind of see it rise up and then come back down, and then, oh, okay, now, and then it kind of goes side to side, and you kind of get to a spot and you're like, ooh, that looks like it's probably the most level. And it was. It doesn't always work that easy, but it did in this case. So here's our view now, which is kind of awesome. The swimming hole's right there, right where those red rocks are. So I'm gonna take the dogs over there. And there's some more hippie rocks. I figure that's how you can tell it's a good camp, right? If the hippies like it, and I'm a hippie, then we should do just fine here. I mean, look at that spot. It's so much better than an RV park. And honestly, the only reason I wanted to stay at the RV park was for the air conditioner. In this temperature, holy cow, there's a cave up there. See that cave up there? Oh, that looks too good to pass up. And it looks accessible. I could get into some trouble. With the weather like this, I'm not gonna need the air conditioner. I need to open all the windows, put the awning out as long as the wind kind of keeps dying down. It was a little windy at first. And that'll keep us pretty cool in there. And if it's a little bit warm, Dodger can be under the trailer. He seems fine. Well, yeah, he's totally fine. He's standing out in the sun. I was just thinking, like, right under here, under this tree right here, in this little bit of shade, it's like very comfortable. I do have my shirt off, by the way. But there's a breeze, and man, if Dodger's walking around in the sun like that, then that's all I need to see is like he's comfortable. And that's all I wanted. Oh man, I just had a serious fiasco with the awning. Oh man, it was crazy. I ended up poking a hole into the awning, like I kind of wrecked it. I can repair it, and so I'll show that in an upcoming video, you know, at least it's something I can show you all how to do, how I do it. But man, I just had the worst disaster with that awning because of the wind. You can tell how windy it is. Woo! And the wind feels good, but it is hot in the trailer. It's getting too hot for me and the dogs, especially since I had to put in the awning now. Man, that awning. I kept watching the wind. I was like, yeah, it's kind of strong, but the awning's holding up pretty good. I went outside and tightened it some more. And then the big gusts start coming. And when it's gusting like that, like these big, heavy gusts, you have to put it in. And it's kind of too late at that point. So I'm like wrestling with it, trying to undo the arms while holding it down in place, and the wind's coming, pushing it up, like, and I'm trying to use my body weight to hold it in place. And then it has this strap that runs along the upper part of the awning, and the wind blew it off. And it's like sitting out over here, and I have to hold the awning down, but I need the strap so I can hold it as it raises up. And then the little knob to flick it into action so it starts to roll up, that thing was jammed. So I'm like, okay, I got to go inside and get my Leatherman, because I can pound that button with my Leatherman and jam it out of place. But to get my Leatherman, I have to open the door. And since the awning is like kind of halfway collapsed at this point, and I'm holding it in place, it's conflicting with the door. And I always forget that. And so I open the door, and now the awning is like supported by the corner of the door. And I had to jump up, push the awning off of the corner of the door, and then I see the rip. And then at that point, the strap had come back off and is sitting out over here again. So I had to wait for a lull in the wind, run over, grab the strap, restring the strap, and then hit that button with the Leatherman that I was able to get now at this point, jamming on that button, and then it rolls up, and it's kind of crooked the way it rolled up, so I'll have to roll it up properly again later. And of course now it has that tear in it. It's my own fault because it was getting windy, and normally I would put it in, but since it's so hot and the sun is coming down at this angle, which the awning perfectly protects us from, and it's getting hot inside the trailer, it's getting up to 94. I'm like, oh, I can't handle this without that awning. If the awning wasn't there and then the wind comes up and it's like, well, you're screwed. You have to roll the awning up. See how these bars aren't lined up? It's crooked, so I can't drive like that. I gotta fix it, but I gotta wait till the wind to come down. I'm taking the dogs now to the creek, and we're gonna cool off in there. And Dodger doesn't have his brace on, and I was like, he'll be fine without it. And I'm thinking, no, because he's gonna go in the water and he might slip, and I'm gonna want to have the brace on him. So I had to go back inside and get the brace. I really do like this brace. It actually does really work. I can vouch for it. Dodger's been using it now for 3 months, and it actually doesn't have any tears in it. It's in pretty good shape. You can check this out in the description. I'll put a link to it if your dog has a ruptured cruciate ligament. They also make a couple other braces for different dog injuries. I don't know how well those work, but I can vouch for this one. So I'm gonna put it on him, and we're gonna go for a little dip right over yonder. I have sand in my eyes. That's why I'm like squinting. It's actually not too sunny at the moment because of the clouds, but there's sand just blowing into my eyes. Like, I literally have sand in my eyes right now. It's still better than the RV park. That's nice, Echo. I was like, oh, where should I set my backpack? Well, I can either set it in the sand or on this nice, perfect rock that Echo just peed on. So that's out of the question now. Let's go for a swim. Come on, dogs. Echo. Come on. Woo. That is cool. I feel like I gotta watch out for snakes. Oh, there's something up in there. There's a bird. Nope, it's a lizard. There's like a lizard in the leaves out there. Dodger, come on. Come on, Dodge. Let's go for a swim. Whoa, you okay, buddy? You went in head first. Come on, come on. Yeah, good boy. That's probably too steep. Dodger, this way. Come on, come on. Yeah, good boy. So good. Echo, your turn. Let's go for a swim. Echo, this way. Go on. Echo, this way. Yes, yes. There goes Dodger. He's wandering away. Oh man, these dogs. You see Dodger over there? He's like just rolling around in the weeds. He's so stubborn. Oh man. Let's go see what he's doing. You happy, Echo, huh? I watched you guys in the river. Look at this guy. Dodger. Come on, don't get all sandy. Come on, Dodge, back to camp. Dodger, this way. You're so clean. That's like the first bath you've had in at least 6 months. I can't figure it out, but oh, you're gonna roll around down there, aren't you? That means you're not coming in until you're dry.